All right, now is the parenting category. And first is Casey from Moosh and Indy.
Hi. Can we first clap for Mr. Lady again? And then can I blame her for making me cry? Here we go. I overdosed on prescription medication while I was 7 months pregnant, on purpose. I didn't want to be pregnant anymore. Pregnancy was literally killing me. I hadn't eaten more than a half cup of food at a sitting in 7 months. 90% of what went into my mouth came back out. Every muscle in my body ached from dry heaving. My throat was constantly scratchy from vomiting out bile. And no one believed that I was truly sick. One woman told me I was eating the wrong kind of cracker. Other people told me I was being overdramatic. Several people thought I was faking. My husband thought I was a wimp. Depression built gradually. I told myself to go to sleep and I'd feel better in the morning. One morning I didn't feel better. I felt worse. I called into work, got a glass full of water, and took well over a dozen pills, plus a Zofran and a sleeping pill, so I could fall asleep while it happened and not vomit all that I had just taken. My husband found me an hour later. I don't remember much of the next 12 hours. I woke up in an ER, monitors and sensors all over my body. My husband was sitting by my side, completely helpless to what his wife had tried to do to his baby. A social worker came in and told me that I would be going to a different hospital for some inpatient monitoring, and that I would be going there by ambulance. I realized while I was lying on the gurney that I was being buzzed into an area of the hospital I'd never been in before. I smelled cigarette smoke. The only reason to smell cigarette smoke inside a hospital is if the people inside aren't allowed outside. This is when I realized I was in the psychiatric ward. I was wheeled down a quiet hall to a sterile room. My shoelaces were taken. I was told to wait for a nurse who would read me the rules. The rules went something like this. If you don't eat, we have ways of making you eat. If you don't listen, we have ways of making you listen. And then I was told that visitors were limited to an hour a day. I was only allowed to see my husband an hour a day. Cody was allowed to come in, bring me a few things from home and say goodbye. And then I was left all alone. Alone except for the nurses that checked in on me every hour. I wasn't allowed to go to sleep with the door closed. A woman woke up in the middle of the night screaming about killing her husband. I had an OB nurse, a nutritionist, a psychiatrist, a therapist, a pediatrician, a social worker, and a perinatologist who checked in on me regularly. I had to go to 3 group therapy sessions and 2 private sessions of therapy a day. Some patients had deep wounds that were stapled shut and bandaged. Others had charcoal stains around their lips. I sat in my room most of the day staring down at the street I used to play on as a kid, staring at all the people with normal lives going about completely unaware that I was stuck up there all alone. It was the darkest, scariest, most miserable situation I've ever been in. Humans should not be treated like that. If I learned nothing else while I was there for 3 days, I learned that I never want to go back. I couldn't tell anyone where I had been. I was ashamed. No one likes a baby killer. Why would I ever admit to being one? But the people who did know finally believed me, finally believed the hell it was being trapped inside my pregnant body. I was ashamed of this until recently. I made a mistake. I'm human. And the Lord obviously wants to keep me and my baby here, or we would have had toe tags that cold day in September. There's no logical medical reason why my daughter came out of that perfectly healthy, and for this I'm very grateful. I'm not ashamed now because I have a message. If someone says they're not doing okay, please listen. I tried to tell someone that I was not well a week before I overdosed. They brushed it off as pregnancy hormones and sleeplessness. I didn't want to push. Maybe it was just pregnancy after all, but that's just my point. Those who truly need your help will really shout for it. They'll suffer silently, hoping anybody will notice. Those who are truly hurting will not want to draw attention to themselves. I didn't want to be a burden or seen as a complainer, so I tried to figure it out myself. And I failed. But I was blessed through my failure. Not everyone is that lucky. Thank you.